again, and it's another calm Sunday evening here in Abuja, and I welcome you to your Sunday night tonic Newsline. I am Claire Adelabu Abdul Razak. Alhamdulillah, the Ramadan fast is gradually winding down, and we're all looking forward to the Salah break by God's grace. So, Newsline tonight is heavy with captivating stories. Our attention will be drawn to some traditions and cultures that we rarely celebrate and promote. We also have stories that will arouse your imagination, or perhaps stories that will call us all out to action. Also on the line tonight, we will take you into the palace of the Borno Emirate Council. While there, we will see how the Shehu of Borno is deploying moral persuasion to shape the behavior of our future leaders. Quite interesting to watch. Now, there are rich men and women who may never feel small, but you know what? There's also no big man or woman who will never feel small at one time or the other in life. And on Newsline tonight, we have a story that will put what I have just said into proper perspective. Once again, I thank you for joining us. But before we get started, let's join Elizabeth Omori for the news. And I'll be back in about 20 minutes.
Thank you, Claire, and thanks for joining us on the news segment. We begin with health matters. For the past 76 years, nations of the world have been commemorating the World Health Day on the 7th of April annually. This is as a result of the priority accorded this sector with this year's theme, My Health, My Right. Indeyang and the Yagbajang tells us more.
The adage that health is wealth cannot be downplayed, as no individual or people survive or make any meaningful progress in the midst of diseases and ill health. Nigeria is not left out in the quest to ensure that its people have access to basic facilities to enhance their well-being. This year's theme, My Health, My Right, is therefore a wake-up call for everyone to take proactive measures towards wellness.
You have a right to seek appropriate health care at the right time, promptly, and not when things are going out of hand. And this includes your psychological health, your mental health. Very, very important, okay, especially in the era of economic challenges, security challenges. We can have a lot of people getting so worried, especially with fake news, which have a way of getting them perturbed, which has some health consequences, even on their physical health.
Dr. Amadou challenged healthcare providers and those with the wherewithal to invest more in the human and material resources that abound towards improving the sector. In Jos, Indeyang and the Abajang, NTA News.
Away from health matters, as part of efforts by the administration of President Bola Tinubu to attract foreign direct investment, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Adamu Lamowa, has embarked on an investment campaign to the United Kingdom, where he enjoined Nigerians in the diaspora to prioritize investment in Nigeria across sectors. Correspondent Olawale Hamzat reports.
Privilege and a great honor to welcome you to this momentous event.
It was a meeting with Nigerians and potential investors in the UK, hosted by the Nigeria High Commission in London. And the guest was the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Adamu Lamowa, who embarked on an investment promotion campaign. Ambassador Adamu underscores the various strategic reforms by the Tinubu-led administration to attract and protect investment across sectors, particularly in agriculture, real estate, manufacturing, marine, oil and gas, and mineral resources, among others.
Investment is a function of profits, and there is no investment without taking risk. Whatever it is, if you come back to Nigeria, if you come home, you discover that all the lies about insecurity, about corruption, about unstable environment, it has changed because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made so much progress within this short period. He has made conducive environment for foreign investors to come and invest in Nigeria.
Representatives of Nigerian associations and groups in the UK also expressed their solidarity and commitment to driving investment to Nigeria.
In the renewed hope agenda of the present regime of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have to consciously pursue foreign investments into the Nigerian economy and also ensure an enabling environment to attract such investments.
Investment from the diaspora has got to be a key factor in the Nigerian economics story going forward.
It was a robust engagement with investors and Nigerians in the UK, and it is expected that these will yield significant outcomes in the coming months. Olawale Hamzat, NTA.
Talking agriculture, in Kano, tomato farmers are reeling from substantial losses as the harvest succumbed to the destructive Tuta absoluta pest. Masood Aliyu, who visited farming communities of Kora local government area in Kano State, reports that farmers are now switching to cereal crops as alternatives to tomato farming.
Musa Ibrahim has been earning a living through tomato production for many years. However, it is not business as usual this cropping season. He suffered huge loss due to invasion of his tomato farm by ravaging Tuta absoluta moth. Popularly called tomato leaf miner, Tuta absoluta is a destructive pest that primarily affects tomato plants. This is the experience of most farmers in and around this farming community. With no alternative to farming, the ravaged tomato fields are now being used to plant rice and maize to minimize the loss.
This disease, that is Tuta absoluta, to find better solutions that controls the situations, and if possible, government or the program shall at least have the possible way to enhance the capability of the farmers, especially farmers like us who get this loss.
According to agricultural experts, this type of pest transmits rapidly with high devastating effects on tomato plants.
This year it is maybe calamity, or it comes from Almighty Allah.
That notwithstanding, the problem is not beyond control if certain measures are taken.
So we are calling farmers, please, to come and give us cooperation and seek our advice. Our advice will assist them. And even the pattern of spray we are doing, some farmers are not adopting that method.
As Musa and other tomato farmers in Kano grapple with the aftermath of the Tuta absoluta outbreak, they want from government increased agricultural extension services and securing their livelihoods against future threats.
And the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, unveiled 26,404 bags of assorted grains as Sokoto State's share of the federal government's intervention to the current economic condition. Presenting the items to Sokoto State Governor Ahmed Aliyu, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, say the gesture is part of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope efforts to reduce the sufferings of citizens amidst high cost of living. Sokoto State received 26,404 bags of grains out of the 42,000 metric tons released from the National Strategic Food Reserve for distribution to vulnerable Nigerians to cushion the effect of rising cost of living. In other news, the former Deputy President of the Senate, Ovi Omo Agege, calls on Nigerians to give their unflinching support to the administration of President Bola Tinubu to realize the renewed hope mantra towards the greatness of the nation. This was at the homecoming reception organized by the All Progressives Congress faithful in Delta State to honor him after an eventful representation at the Senate. Tesikoka reports that the ceremony was at Uheli, Delta State.
The former Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omo-Agege, and the 2023 governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress is visiting his home in Delta State for the first time after the last election. The grand reception was graced by Deltans from all walks of life, still savoring the landmark projects he attracted during his stewardship at the Red Chamber.
And I want to beg all of us to be more united. Election in which you want to senatorial district is a victory for that political party.
Your dream for becoming a governor in Delta State is an unfinished business.
Deltans are proud of his legislative prowess during his time and are confident of him with more responsibilities at any given time.
When he pursues something, he pursues it with 100% energy and does not take his eye off the target.
The former Deputy President of the Senate, who has done so much for us, and we want him to do more.
Senator Obioma Gege attracted over 2,000 projects.
With a heart full of gratitude, the former Deputy President of the Senate is in Delta State to express appreciation to Deltans for supporting him and President Tinubu during the last elections. For him, the policies initiated by the Tinubu administration are already yielding positive results as he wants Nigerians to be patient.
Today when it started, we all saw the turbulence. We saw the economic downturn, the dollar spiraling out of control. But the Asiwaju that we've always known has stepped forward, has put his foot down, and now things are not taking shape gradually. Also,
Omar Agege is a first from Delta State to occupy such a high-ranking position. He championed her milestone legislation during his time at the upper chamber. Deltans say they are proud of him. Inugeli, Tessie, Koka, NTA News.
To religious affairs, the Sultan of Sokoto and the President, Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, urges Muslim faithful to look out for the new crescent of Shawwal from Monday, 8th of April 2024. A statement from the Secretary of the Council, Professor Ishak Oloyede, says if the crescent is sighted, the 1st of Shawwal and Eid al-Fitr Day will be Tuesday, 9th of April. But if not, fasting will continue Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10th of April automatically becomes the Eid Day. The Council felicitates with the Muslim Ummah on the celebration of Eid al-Fitr and prays Allah to accept the Ramadan fast and other acts of worship. It reminds Muslims to perform the compulsory act of Zakat al-Fitr to the less privileged on time as ordained in Islam. Meanwhile, the federal government declares Tuesday 9th and Wednesday 10th of April 2024 public holidays to mark Eid al-Fitr celebration. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government in a statement, congratulates all Muslim Ummah for the successful completion of the fasting in the holy month of Ramadan. Tunji-Ojo calls on Muslims to imbibe and practice the virtues that entail kindness, love, tolerance, peace and compassion as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now, as the days of fasting and nights of prayers come to a close, a last-minute task not to be forgotten is Zakat al-Fitr, or alms giving, to mark the end of Ramadan. Tokpe Alabi in this report takes a look at the significance of this last obligation by Muslims.
قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى.
Ramadan fast is associated with various forms of devotions. Apart from the fastings, obligatory prayers and other acts of worship, the month is also characterized with almsgiving. One major act required at the end of Ramadan fast is Zakat al-Fitr. The purpose of Zakat al-Fitr is to enable poor people celebrate Eid al-Fitr, the festival to break the Ramadan fast.
The main idea is to make everybody has something to eat on that very day. He may not even have time to go and work for what he can eat.
We need to give a lot of charity. We need to have empathy for the less privileged.
And when it comes to difficulties of life, the biggest of them is food.
Anybody that is hungry will not even listen to anything. So this Zakat al-Fitr is to cater for something like that.
Zakat al-Fitr used to wipe away all your sins, and it completes your Ramadan fasting.
This form of charity becomes mandatory from sunset on the last day of fasting and remains so until the beginning of Eid prayer. It is given by the head of the household for each member of the family. The measurement is 1 sa'ah or 4 mudu of grains to be given out as Zakat al-Fitr per person.
Zakat al-Fitr can be paid, when the Ramadan is coming to an end, starting from, like 2 days to the end of Ramadan.
So anyone given after the Eid become ordinary charity. So that is why Zakat al-Fitr, the popular food in your community is what they ask us to use.
If the rich among the society, the haves, if they consider the have-not, we discover that it will be a better place for us to live in.
Islamic clerics say Zakat al-Fitr basically censors that the poor have food resources to celebrate Eid, thank Allah, and share the day's joy with their families. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
Thank you, Tokpe, for that reminder. And President Bola Tinubu is in Lagos to celebrate Eid al-Fitr. A statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, indicates that the president will use the solemn occasion, which marks the end of Ramadan, to observe prayers for Nigeria along with his family. The statement adds that official duties continue during and after the holidays. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the kind of unity and common purpose being projected in Borno State is unprecedented in the annals of contemporary Nigerian political history. The Vice President stated this when he was hosted to Iftar, the traditional breaking of fast at Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
The Vice President Kashim Shettima, who is in the state for Salah break, was received on arrival by the Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadapur, representing the Governor Babagana Umar Azilim, who is in Saudi Arabia for Elias Hajj. Other dignitaries at the airport to receive the Vice President include Senator Kakasha Ulan, Member House of Representative Usman Zanna, and other top government functionaries. The tradition of hosting people in the state to iftar ceremony to jointly break the Ramadan fast is a tradition which has become a well-recognized norm in Borno State since the military era. Borno State government therefore deemed it fit to honor the Vice President by hosting him to the traditional fast breaking. Vice President Kashim Shettima described the tradition of hosting dignitaries to iftar as a demonstration of unity and brotherhood the state is known for.
Let us continue on this path of unity and progress. There can never be peace without development, and there can never be development without peace.
Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadapur, who welcomed the Vice President to his home state, said,
"We are privileged and honored to break our fast for the number 2 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria."
The tradition of breaking of Ramadan fast had in attendance dignitaries and critical stakeholders in the state. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
To drug reduction, Indian-bound passenger vomits and excretes 80 wraps of cocaine, while 2 other suspects ran out of luck at the Lagos airport as NDLEA intercepts large quantities of imported illicit drugs. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim brings us details.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) have arrested a Delhi Indian-bound passenger with a Liberian international passport at the screening point of Terminal 2 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. He was taken for body scan, which tested positive for ingestion of illicit drugs. The suspect, who claimed he was introduced into drug trafficking by one of his relatives with a promise of 300,000 naira cash reward if he successfully delivers the consignment in India, eventually passed out a total of 80 wraps of cocaine weighing 889 grams through his mouth and anus over a period of 4 days, the action that almost took his life. In the same vein, NDLEA officers at the Lagos airport on Wednesday, 3rd April, intercepted a drug mule and his accomplice at the departure terminal on his way to Oman. The operatives discovered a false bottom concealment of drugs in the check-in luggage. At the Tinkan Seaport in Lagos, NDLEA operatives also on Wednesday, 3rd April, intercepted more than 2,000 parcels of Colorado, a synthetic strain of cannabis weighing over 1,072 grams. The seizure was made during a joint examination with Customs Service and other stakeholders on a container which originated from Toronto, Canada. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
And next, some sporting stories.
Head coach of Nigeria's Super Falcons, Randall Wardrum, has charged his players to forget their first-leg advantage and play to win when they meet South Africa in Pretoria. The nine-time African champions play away to Banyana in the second leg of their final round qualifying fixture for the Paris 2024 Olympics on Tuesday, having won the first leg 1-0 in Abuja last Friday. And coach Wardrum expects his side to be more clinical in front of goal.
Had we scored a second goal, I would have loved it. If we would have got a third, it would have been even better. But even scoring a couple of goals, we still have to play the second leg. And South Africa are capable of scoring multiple goals as well. So we'd still have to go with the same mindset to go get a result.
The Falcons, who departed Nigeria for South Africa on Sunday, are expected to have their final training session on Monday evening at Loftus Versfeld Stadium. Back home, Remo Stars on Sunday returned to the top of the Nigeria Premier Football League standings following a 2-1 home win over Akwa United in their matchday 29 encounter. Former table toppers Enugu Rangers lost on the road to Katsina United in a 7-goal thriller, while Lubi Stars defeated Enyimba 1-0 in another battle between title challengers. In other results, Niger Tornadoes hammered Gombe United 5-0. Heartland boosted their survivor hopes with a 3-1 win over Sporting Lagos, with Sunshine Stars and Bayelsa United playing out a 1-0 draw. In Italy, Manchester United and Liverpool played out a sensational 2-0 draw at Old Trafford as Jurgen Klopp's side missed the chance to reclaim top spot in the Premier League. They now find themselves behind Arsenal on goal difference, with both teams on 71 points. Finally, almost 1 year after he started traversing deserts, mountains and rainforests across 16 countries, Ross Cook has completed his challenge to run the entire length of Africa. The task of covering the distance, equating to more than 385 marathons, was initially planned to end by Christmas, but the 16,300-kilometer journey has taken 352 days. With Sports Update, Bade Adeleye, NTA News.
Thank you, Bade, for the updates. And of course, you know the weather has been friendly in different shades lately. So let's find out the weather picture for tomorrow, Monday.
Presently, there are bands of storms as shown in this satellite imagery, which is expected to induce thunderstorms along its path as it moves towards the western flank of the country, giving chances of thunderstorms over parts of Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, some parts of Osun, Oyo, Ogun, Lagos, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River states. We expect more cloud development across the south and the central cities, which is expected to give prospects of isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours over some parts of Plateau, Nasarawa, the Federal Capital Territory, some parts of Benue, Taraba, extending to Kaduna, Bauchi, and most cities around the inland areas of the south and the coastal belt as well. Over the north, we expect sunshine intervals with hazy atmosphere in some parts of the northeastern region. And that's our bit from here. I remain Joyce Ugunleye. Please join us again.
And the weather report ends the news segment. More to come with Captain Claire after the break. To stay on the line.